Assalamu alaikum, dear democratic people at home and abroad. An election is not just about the day we cast our votes. What unfolds in the period leading up to the election is also crucial, as it sets the stage for what happens on the voting day. In the upcoming one-sided election on 7th January, a mere formality where the result of all 300 seats is predetermined, and Sheikh Hasina herself selects so-called winners. The pre-election environment is marred by state-sponsored violence and human rights violations. The fascist regime has used partisan members of law enforcement agencies, administration and the judiciary to suppress opposition activists and turned the election commission into a party affiliate. This dummy election, which is neither inclusive nor participatory and commonly rejected by Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP, 62 pro-democracy political parties and the people of Bangladesh, creates a mockery to the nation's democratic aspiration. The intensity of Awami League's internal clashes and killings highlights that with or without political opposition or public participation, it's a party with violence ingrained in politics. The tainted election in 2014 and 2018 and widespread irregularities in the by-elections over last 15 years prove that fair and credible election at any level is not possible under Sheikh Hasina. In 2014, Awami League grabbed automatic victory in over 50% seats, with not a single candidate competing against them. In 2018, the ruling party stuffed ballot boxes on the previous night, completing the election before it could formally begin. In 2024, having no credibility domestically and internationally, they are creating dummy entities to show artificial inclusion, including participant candidates and political parties, and even fake voters and observers. Not only that, Awami League is pressuring 12.8 million people by threatening to remove their social and financial benefits if they don't vote. As an organized decision, the party is trying to compel voter participation nationwide by instructing them to submit their relief cards, as well as threatening to cancel their civic services, utility connections, national ID cards and home eviction. There are alarming reports of voter intimidation among government organizations. For example, Answer and Village Defense Party, who boast 6.1 million members, being instructed to secure votes for themselves and their families. Shockingly, the police higher-ups are conducting meetings with the ruling party leaders to increase voter presence by force. Coercive measures like postal voting for all government employees and local government manipulation with benefit threats underline unprecedented irregularities. These kind of manipulations were rooted in BNP's grand rally on last 28 October, which changed the political landscape. The regime resorted to conspiracy and brutally suppressed the people's mandate in favor of our peaceful and non-violent movement. Awami League, in collaboration with partisan section of the police, orchestrated pre-planned anarchy on that day. BNP leaders and activists at all levels were then falsely charged, including in a horrific police death by ruling party thugs. In the last 2 months, around 25,000 of our party members have been arrested and 28 innocent individuals have died, including 9 in the police custody. These brutalities are based on the regime's self-inflicted and sabotage violence, such as targeted assaults on buses, trains and private establishments, causing the loss of lives and damages to assets. Despite Awami League's extensive history of arson attacks, the state apparatus manufactures false evidence to accuse BNP, engaging in a blame game to legitimize ongoing crackdown. I am providing just 2 examples among thousands to underline that there is absolutely no substance in the politically motivated cases against our party's 5 million members and every democratic activist from every aspect of society who have challenged the government in some way. The Agriculture Minister's recent statement that all jailed BNP leaders would be released if they agreed to participate in the election is a reflection of a sheer judicial injustice. On the other hand, the quick release of a BNP leader who compromised by meeting Hasina and received Awami League nomination with all charges dropped overnight reveals further erosion of the rule of law. Regardless of what transpires on 7 January, this Awami League government remains illegal and illegitimate. If autocracy clings to a globally integrated Bangladesh, it will have a spillover effect on our international friends and development partners. Hasina's attempt to retain power by force for a 3rd term would slide Bangladesh towards a one-party state, expanding its alignment with authoritarian governments and fostering further isolation from the democratic world. As the main opposition unifying the nation, BNP is dedicated to restoring the power that continues to be unjustly taken away but rightfully belongs to the people of Bangladesh. We pledge to align economically and strategically with democratic nations and institutions and implement domestic policies and initiatives to empower all Bangladeshis with freedom, equality and justice. Towards that goal, and with the support of the international community, the pro-democracy people of Bangladesh aim to ensure Sheikh Hasina's resignation and establish a neutral, non-party election-time government, paving the way for a real election, the election that will truly reflect the will of 120 million voters. Thank you all for your time.